Hi, everybody, and welcome to City Beat. I'm your host, Nancy Byrne, and we're in the KCLV TV studio control room. In honor of September being Emergency Preparedness Month, and because we seem to be seeing endless accounts of mass shootings across our country, we thought it would be a good time to sit down with the city's Emergency Management Administrator for some sound advice of what we should do should we ever find ourselves in such an unimaginable situation. In this emergency exercise recently at City Hall, several Southern Nevada agencies worked together to test their abilities in dealing with an active shooter in a crowded public place. It was a test of coordinated response and communications between multiple agencies. Our first responders are constantly sharpening their skills. But as average citizens, what can we do to be prepared for such an emergency? Experts say in a situation like this, there are really only 3 options on how to respond, and we need to be prepared for all 3.
Obviously, the tenet that we've been using for active shooter situations are 3 basic rules: run, hide, or fight, in that order.
Since the first choice is to run, there are ways to increase your chances of being able to get away. So whether you're at work, home, or out on the town, familiarize yourself with your surroundings.
When you enter a new venue, a new facility, a new location, take note of the exit signs around you. Sometimes our casinos are really difficult to navigate, so it's really important to understand which is the quickest way out of that area when you're there.
Keep in mind, the way you came in might not be the safest way out. If you can't escape, try to find a secure place to hide.
Then take a look at where you might be able to secure yourself in a place where a shooter may not be able to find you. That may be a closet, a storage room. It may be in your own office under a desk. It may be in a copy room. We like to find shelter-in-place locations to be rooms that don't have windows, rooms that can be secured from the inside.
Once behind a closed and preferably locked door, many safety experts say to stay low. Shooters tend to aim at the midsection of a door as opposed to aiming toward the ground. Silence your phone and remain as quiet as possible. If you can't run or hide, your last option is to fight. Now, even if this sounds overly dramatic today, take a look around you and see if there are any objects that could help you defend yourself.
What can be used as a weapon around you, something to defend yourself, protect yourself, and keep the bad person as far away from you as possible. And then commit. If you've decided that you're going to take an action against this person or persons, then commit to it, go all in, because if you hesitate, I promise you, they're not.
You might want to make sure you know how to use a fire extinguisher. It's a 2-fold weapon.
It's a big, heavy object, which is useful in some ways, but it's also useful if you actually know how to pull that pin and spray that material to either hide your own location or even into the face of a bad actor.
Finally, if you are fortunate enough to escape, comply with law enforcement. You may be out of danger, but they're heading straight into it. That means exit with your hands up and empty and get out of their way.
They're going to try and come in with some response folks to help anybody who may be injured, even while they don't have the assailant yet. So it's really important to stay out of their way. This is not the time to become the iPhone reporter and record everything that's going on. Mind your own business, get out of harm's way, and let them do their jobs.
Being keenly aware of your surroundings will not only stand by you in something as drastic as an active shooter, it will stand by you in a parking lot, on the streets, in a park, and prevent you from becoming a victim of any kind of crime. And while you don't need to be a black belt in karate, it does help to get some self-defense lessons. And there are classes all across the city of Las Vegas. Well, we're going to stay on this topic for just a moment. We hear so often, if you see something, say something. What does that really mean? How do we know an unattended duffel bag is anything more than just a bag? Or it could be a bag containing explosives that are set to go off. And in this age of sharing everything on social media, what is just the political ramblings of an upset citizen and what could be read as a real threat? Well, we sought out some more advice on how to tell the difference and what we should do if we see something and believe we ought to say something. In a city like Las Vegas, a vacation destination for more than 40 million people a year, it's perfectly normal to see tourists taking photos of our opulent properties and landmarks. But there are times, even in our photogenic city, when snapping photos can set off alarms to Homeland Security experts. Las Vegas Metro Police Sergeant Ashton Pack is with the Southern Nevada Counterterrorism Center.
When we get concerned is if somebody, it doesn't matter what their ethnicity is, doesn't matter, we never look at the color of skin, we always look at the activity. If someone's in the back of a casino and they're filming or taking pictures of critical infrastructure, such as an air intake valve, that's of concern to us. It might be nothing. They might be an archaeologist or a architect student that studies these things, an engineering student, we've seen this in the past, but they might also be documenting things for nefarious groups that are, pose a threat to our homeland.
In fact, there are 7 signs of terrorism. These are behaviors those who want to harm us are likely to display. Number 1 is what Sergeant Ashton just described, surveillance. Someone showing unusual interest in or documenting entrances, exits, air ducts, or security stations in a building. The second sign is information gathering. This could be someone spending an unusual amount of time observing a venue or building for things like shift changes or security measures.
This might be a suspicious phone call to a business or a government facility asking if they have armed security on scene, asking how many guards are employed there.
Testing security is the third sign.
Someone may try to access the back of City Hall or a casino where it's off access to the general public, it's only for employees, and this could be something such as testing the security there.
Number 4 is acquiring supplies. Now, this is a sign that would be fairly easy to spot even with limited knowledge of ammunition or explosives.
So if you're working in that Home Depot and someone shows, or you're at the Lowe's or the Walmart and someone's buying 7 pressure cookers and ball bearings, we might want to get a phone call on that.
The 5th sign of terrorism is suspicious persons or items, spotting something or someone in an area that just doesn't seem right.
You have suspicious persons and items where maybe someone does drop a bag, and just to probe and see how long it takes security to react to that suspicious versus or unattended bag that's in the area.
Signs 6 and 7 are exactly what they say, a team or lone wolf conducting a trial run, and then 7 is deploying the act itself.
We often say if they're getting to number 5, that suspicious person in the area or items, leaving items, and we're not capturing that, we're way behind the power curve.
Which is why it's important to be aware of your surroundings and alert authorities of anything suspicious before it becomes an attack or mass shooting. This brings us to a more recent place to detect possible threats of terrorism, social media, and the internet. While people are entitled to freedom of speech, there is a line that is too often crossed by bad players and too often overlooked or ignored by their friends, acquaintances, or family members.
And we are seeing a lot of leakage online by people who are maybe suffering from mental health issues. They have access to powerful weapons, or maybe they're seeking to get access to them, and they're telling people their story online. So if you're that family member, it's sometimes hard to pick up the phone. We would like you to call because we would like to mitigate any threat before they hurt themselves or someone else.
Sergeant Pack says while it may be difficult to turn someone in, keep this in mind. Law enforcement actually has gotten more people out of trouble than in trouble by being able to step in before an act is committed and getting the troubled person needed mental health assistance. The bottom line, according to Sergeant Pack, is if in doubt, make that call. Law enforcement relies on your eyes and ears, but don't let the fear of terrorism control your life.
I mean, at the end of the day, you pay a lot of taxes for a police department that, in my opinion, is the finest law enforcement agency in the country. We've got this. We do require partnership with the community. We can't be everywhere all the time. Don't be afraid to go out and live your life.
If you are ever out and about and you see something that you think looks suspicious, it's always best to err on the side of caution and alert law enforcement. Flag down a police officer or security guard or call 911. Another place you can turn is the Southern Nevada Counterterrorism Center at 702-828-7777 or go to their website, which is snctc.org. It's hard to believe that it has been 18 years since 9/11. This year, like every year, the city of Las Vegas takes a moment to remember those who fell victim of those terrorist attacks in 2001. We take you now to Las Vegas Fire and Rescue Station 5 for the tolling of the bells.
All stations, all units, stand by for tolling of the bells.
It was like a war zone. I had done a tour in Iraq during Desert Storm, and somehow this was worse. There's a numbness. I don't know how many movies you've seen, Saving Private Ryan, those kind of things, and somebody experiences an explosion next to them, and everything goes kind of muted, and it kind of slow motion, and you see everybody running, and you just can't find your footing. That's kind of where I was. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And even till today, I still see it and I struggle with it.
I was the fire chief in the city of San Mateo, California. And it so happened that we had all the department heads in San Mateo together at a conference in San Jose. And at 7 o'clock in the morning, of course, you're getting ready to go out to the conference, and I'm watching the events unfold at the World Trade Center towers, 7 o'clock in the morning our time, and just disbelief on what I'm seeing and the thought that someone could do that to humans, kill people for no other reason than just to inflict terror. And the men and women that responded very courageously, and many who lost their lives.
The tolling of the bell is in remembrance of all the people who lost their lives in the United States during the terrorist attacks on September the 11th, 2001.
Reset! Up!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? It's really therapeutic. It's good it is a sense of pride and dedication and patriotism, which I kind of grasp onto, especially at times like this, to remember those things and what we're really here for and what it's really all about. For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
It connects the entire country, and we all felt it, we all feel it, we all remember and honor the folks that served and made sacrifices, and especially the folks that were killed that day.
This concludes the tributes. All stations, all units, you can report back to your assigned frequencies.
Tim Zemansky says the reason he starts the tolling of the bells at 6:50 a.m. is because that's approximately the time, our time, when the South Tower fell at the World Trade Center. Thank you, Tim Zemansky, for carrying on this beautiful tradition. You know, a few years ago, anyone driving past Palm Mortuary and Cemetery Northwest on Jones stopped in their tracks at the sight of 3,000 full-size flags blowing in the wind. We decided to stop by and find out what it was all about. Well, apparently every one of those flags was dedicated to each of the 3,000 victims. Here's more.
I'm here today because Palm Mortuary has done a wonderful thing to go to all of the trouble to display these flags for everyone lost on 9/11.
The idea came from in 2006 at the 5-year anniversary. We were looking for some way to recognize and memorialize the anniversary of 9/11, and Colonial Flag Foundation had this program set up from Utah.
My friend Bobby Pope is visiting here from North Carolina, and before these wonderful flags are taken down this year, I wanted to show her this incredible sight.
I'm very emotional being here today because I don't think we should ever forget this. These people gave their lives for just an unbelievable event, and as Americans, we should never forget it.
When you walk in the field and you visualize that each one of these flags represents a person, and it's hard to imagine if that was this many people standing around us, it would be overwhelming.
It's personal.
Oh, this was a firefighter. Driver of the engine number 252.
This guy liked collie dogs. It's just beautiful.
Every time we do it, I am proud of how it turns out. But for some reason this year, and maybe because it is going to be the last year that we do this, I am even more proud of the team, the volunteers that came out and helped. The outpouring that I have heard from the community is just tremendous and overwhelming.
We can just never forget what all of this means.
Sadly, you can no longer see this display as they have run out of available space to do it properly. So they felt like instead of decreasing the size of the flags or the tribute, they would just stop it altogether. But it was so beautiful, we wanted to share it with you. Thank you, Eric Sorensen, for both of those stories, the tolling of the bells and that flag display. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to tell you about a growing project to take care of our veterans with dignity and respect. Congratulations to Paola Pisani, the City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month. Paola is a fire prevention inspector with the city and oversees more than 1,000 properties in her area. Beyond that workload, she is always looking for ways to help people in our community. Last December, while responding to a service request in an apartment building, she met two families who were struggling financially. After completing the call, Paola contacted some local fire charities and spearheaded an effort to secure toys and gift cards for the families. She even spent her own money to buy both families' Christmas dinner. With the help of her fire prevention team and the crew at Fire Station 108, the presents and the food were delivered to the families on a fire engine a few days before Christmas. For her kindness and compassion, we honor Paola Pisani, the City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month. Welcome back to City Beat from the KCLV TV studio control room. Imagine serving your country, putting your life on the line, only to return home to a world that just doesn't seem the same to you for whatever reason, and then you find that you don't have a place to live. Well, the City of Las Vegas says that's a scene they really don't want to see play out, and one of the most aggressive advocates for our veterans is Arnold Stalk, the founder of Veterans Village. He's already opened many places for our veterans to seek a roof over their head. He just opened one more. Here is the latest complex of homes for our veterans in need, otherwise known as Veterans Village. It's home to veteran Sharina Washington, who found herself staying with friends and family for months after 6 years in the Air Force.
I just kind of fell on hard times, just various life issues came about. I'm not native from Las Vegas, but just kind of fell on hard times, found myself without a job, and just things kind of went downhill from there. And a friend of mine referred me to Veterans Village. Her fiance is a vet as well, and he lived in one of the other buildings, and so she was just telling me about it, and she's like, well, just go see if they can help you out.
This former motel on East Fremont Street has been renovated into clean, comfortable, and very pretty efficiency apartments for Sharina and many others who, for any variety of reasons, need a place to live.
I knew it was going to be nice, but I wasn't expecting it to be this nice, you know, so.
Arnold Stalk is the founder of this complex and 5 others across the city.
There's 56 units here, and I have plans to do another 40 on the same site. That would total over 100.
Okay.
That's 100 more units that we don't have right now.
On this warm September afternoon, he was joined by city leaders who helped make this and all of his facilities a reality, like Mayor Carolyn Goodman.
He's the grandfather of all of these veterans villages. We're so proud of you. It's great. I wouldn't miss it. So beautiful.
And inside the tent, community partners and elected officials who share his dream of ending veteran homelessness gathered to celebrate the grand opening of the new facility. Congresswoman Dina Titus, Councilwoman Victoria Seaman, and Councilwoman Olivia Diaz among the many. All here to celebrate another successful Veterans Village, as well as the man who leads the charge.
Arnie certainly exemplifies with his family how one person with passion and love and a sense of responsibility and obligation can make a difference to an entire population of people.
Aside from more than 50 new living units, residents can enjoy clean and safe open space. There's even a place being prepared to take their furry family members. It's always been Stalk's goal to provide dignified housing for our veterans, complete with all the services they need to get back on their feet. It was born out of a promise he made to his father, a veteran. It's a passion you can hear in his voice when asked why he does this.
I don't like the way our veterans are treated, and a lot of people don't like the way our veterans are treated, so the only thing I know how to do is to build housing. And the amazing people in this community, like 3 Square, I can name them all day long, the markets, all the people that help us, help our vets get off the streets, are all brought together in places like this.
And he doesn't do it for the thanks or glory, but that doesn't stop those he helps.
Just a huge thank you. Like the things what he started here and what he offers to vets and their families is just amazing.
Each one of those complexes specializes in some special need. Like this one, for example, also welcomes families from our homeless courtyard once the city assesses and recommends them. There's one for emergency housing, permanent housing. There's even an assisted living center. And Arnold Stalk is not done yet. There are more complexes in development. Thank you so much, Arnold, for your dedication to our veterans. Well, we mentioned September 11th a little bit earlier in the program, but here in the city of Las Vegas, October 1st is also a very dark anniversary for us. It's 2 years since so many lives were lost at the Route 91 Music Festival. As we prepare to honor those 58 lives and those who are still suffering, some volunteers are rolling up their sleeves and getting our healing garden ready. People from all over the city and even other parts of the state and country turned out on September 4th to do some sprucing up at the garden. You'll recall the Healing Garden was built in 3 days following the October 1st tragedy by community leaders, business owners, and residents who were looking to do something positive and loving in the shadow of the shooting. The garden features a remembrance wall and a path lined with 58 trees in honor of the 58 lives ended too soon. It's been a spot where people could drop off painted rocks, poems, prayers, and mementos. A walk through the garden provides a place to seek solace and peace. If you were not able to volunteer at the September 4th event, there's another one planned for September 21st. If you'd like to participate in that event, you can go online to register at getoutdoorsnevada.org. We're going to take another break, and we're going to lighten things up a little bit as we take you to a very glamorous business in our latest Open for Business segment.
Papa!
Welcome back to City Beat from the KCLV TV studio control room. For our latest edition of Open for Business, we decided to turn up the glam and take you into the second beauty salon being opened by a couple of Las Vegas natives who want to keep spreading their beauty talent within the city of Las Vegas. Sue Levitt has that story.
Hi everyone, I'm Sue Levitt at the beautiful Globe Salon that just opened for business not too long ago. Now this salon offers some pretty cool and unique services to their clients, including a pretty amazing scalp massage.
Nobody gets out of Globe without getting an awesome head massage.
Suzanne Clement is one of the stylists here at Globe.
Mr. Andrew.
She gives us a look around the new, hip, luxury hair salon.
The mixing lab. This is where we mix up all the color.
The salon here in the Summerlin Rampart Commons just opened back in February, but salon owners Stacy Linklater and James Reza have owned Globe Salon for almost 19 years. These natives of Las Vegas first opened Globe on Decatur and Charleston in 2000. Then, wanting to be part of the downtown revitalization, moved here to this location in the Soho Lofts Tower in 2008.
We opened a month after they announced the recession downtown, and we were one of the first pioneers down there. Been down there 11 years now, and we survived where other businesses couldn't because we have tourists coming in. We have a local, a strip address without being strip prices. And we got a lot of visitors that made up for regular customers not coming in as frequent.
Not only did they survive, but their business is now thriving with this second location now open.
So far, great. I mean, we looked for about 5 years for the ideal location on the west end of town, and once we found this, it was almost like when we found our downtown location, we knew exactly where we wanted to be. So far, so good.
So what makes Globe Salon stand apart? Stacy believes it's simple. She only hires professional experts that are held accountable to Globe Salon's respected, guest-centered standards.
We strive every single day to make sure that their experience is as amazing as it possibly can be, from the moment that they schedule their appointments to the time that they come in and are greeted, to the amazing shampoo experience at the shampoo bowl. And, you know, if ever there's issues or concerns, we're there to help them through them. But at the end of the day, it's always about the guest.
And Jeannie Hamrick will agree. She's been with Stacy for over 28 years.
It is really fun to come in, and so for me it is a little bit of a therapy, and it is that experience, you know, from the phone call is so great when you get it to being welcome when you come in, and so it's just one of those places you come and you feel at home.
Jeannie always says that not only am I her therapist, but I also, you know, when she's having a bad hair day, she knows that if she came in and got her hair fixed, she'd feel better. So I'm her hair whisperer.
I've kind of gotten spoiled over the years because I always like to try something new, and Stacy at Globe is always seems to be ahead of the curve, and so I'll have a hairstyle before somebody else will have it.
Everything that we do goes back to the guest experience for us. Yeah, it's cute. Cute. Thanks, baby.
I leave going, oh, I don't know if I can, you know, keep this up at home. But she's so good at explaining what you do. She gives you the correct products, and I can recreate it. Not as good as this, but I feel like I look good when I do my own.
Along with being named to the best of lists of numerous local publications, Globe is one of a handful of Nevada salons honored by Elle on its list of top 100 salons in America. Twice, Style Bible Black Book selected Globe for inclusion in their Las Vegas guide, and W Magazine spotlighted Globe's efforts during the Magic Fashion Convention.
The name Globe is for a reason. Eventually, it'd be amazing to see Globe salons across the globe. But today, we're good with 2 locations.
That Globe Salon that Sue visited is located in Summerlin at Rampart and Charleston. Their other Globe Salon is located in downtown Las Vegas on South Las Vegas Boulevard. Thank you, Sue Levitt, for that Open for Business segment. Well, that does it for another edition of City Beat. We want to thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time around for the next City Beat.